AMK indeed is one of the leading microfinance institutions in Cambodia. It has a portfolio of around 100 million USD and 300,000 active clients. So we would say that it's very much, in the top 5 microfinance institutions in this country. It also has one of the lowest average loan size. So it's around 300 USD now, providing both group lending and individual lending methodology to its clients. And it also has one of the biggest outreach of branches throughout the countries, with around 200 branches.
The core purpose has been and is to develop and document an understanding of our clients.
So we're going to be looking at an area of product development. Are we developing a product to meet our customer need? Does our product actually harm our customer? Does our customer actually happy with our product?
If I would say that the Social Performance Committee's role is very much the safeguard of the social mission achievement of AMK.
The first part of our mission was about reaching poor people with appropriate products, and the second part was about financial viability of the institution itself. So the second part was easier to monitor, but the first part was kind of uncharted territory for all of us. So for us, the committee helped a great deal because it was comprised of people who had already worked on such issues, and they helped us not having to reinvent the wheel all over again.
My own association has also been not only in research but also in the development of the ratings tools. We were beginning to develop a social rating tool for the industry. As many institutions had said, well, don't just look at our finances and our management. We are here for a social goal. So I think it was exactly at that time that in AMK they were thinking of setting up a social performance committee, and the CEO at the time, I think he sent out a number of emails to different people, and I was one of them, and I was happy to accept to be part of what was a new initiative, and I think has in fact shown really how a committee with independent people with particular skills, whether you call it client-centric, whether it's research, whether it's client protection, social performance, whatever you call it, it is useful to have a group of people with those skills to support the governance of a microfinance institution.
On an annual basis, the Social Performance Committee reviews a number of end client surveys and research papers, such as assessing the level of client satisfaction on our products. We also look at the poverty profile of our client at entry moment. We look at instances of multiple lending to ensure that we don't over-indebt the client we work with. We also assess through the Social Performance Committee the level of awareness of our clients on pricing and on how can they avail to any complaint mechanism if they have an issue. So by looking at all this end clients data, we make sure again that in any business decision we make, clients is at the center of that decision.
AMK have a mission to see if our customer, if our client actually improve their livelihood. So what it happens that the SPC and our teams, management team, agree to design what we call a change study to measure the change in customer household in terms of their assets, in terms of their education, and in terms of their food securities, and so on and so forth.
We started to undertake the quantitative surveys on a regular basis. So the purpose of the surveys was essentially to profile the clients, to apply a set of indicators that we tested in the Cambodian context as to how could we, in fact, measure well-being. And at the same time, we were interested in tracking cash flows, seasonality issues, main livelihoods, access to other financial services, and then feedback on whatever services those households were accessing. So we also included a survey of non-clients of AMK, so we could compare people who could be our target group. But the idea then was to get a very in-depth, focused feedback from the market, and also to use this as a baseline for follow-up over time to see what change was happening.
So we tried to do it with very little additional cost burden to the institution, because it would eventually result in a cost burden to the client.
A few years ago, we actually did an analysis of the costs involved of the research department, the studies undertaken, and then the social performance committee as part of that. And our guide was that I think in any commercial activity, it's accepted that up to 5% is a reasonable cost of research, of market research. And I can't now quite remember the exact proportion, but it was definitely within the 5%.
In an environment where there is a lot of competition, competitors are likely to offer bigger loans with fewer questions asked. We still have the largest number of clients in the country, and we are not the easiest to borrow from. So if you connect the two, there must be some underlying factor that still keeps clients with us.
When we do good for a customer, it's actually good for AMK.
We have a lot of data which helps in disaggregation by these different types of context, whether at the village level or at the household level. And we're certainly applying that, particularly when we're looking at the introduction now of different financial services. So extending from credit into savings, types of insurance, use of remittances. The granularity becomes particularly important then.
I think the main business benefit has been on the product development side. By understanding your clients' needs and behaviors well, then obviously you try to develop product that suit them better. One example would be, for instance, on the credit side, we developed what we call an agricultural credit line, which basically allows clients to avail for amounts of principal when they actually need it, and not necessarily to have to borrow a big amount while they might only need a portion of it to buy input or fertilizer or whatever might be needed for their agricultural activity.
That product has, in our 12-year history now, has never had a problem. So it has about a 1/3 share of our small rural client family today. It grew entirely out of our research department's work, and the work on client cash flows and livelihoods was as much to inform ourselves as to make sure that we didn't go into the market with the wrong product that could end up harming the clients and harming us as well. So it kind of shows also that when you trust the clients, they would trust you back. They make that extra effort not to falter on products that have a lot of flexibility and have been tailored to work for them.
In AMK, from the start, there's been an emphasis on good governance, really learning from best practice, being innovative themselves. They were the first ones to even think of having an SP committee. But certainly at the board level, I've been very impressed with the way different chairs handle the meetings, the homework they do. They spend one day before everybody going through everything with at least one day, I would say. So maybe now it's more. But going through the issues, and then during the discussions, making sure that everybody contributes what they have to say. So I think there is an art of governance, and I think a high point for me has been seeing it in practice in AMK, and it's been a privilege to be part of it.
I think often misconception that organizations that are more socially focused are losing out on the profitability. And we had many examples that prove exactly the opposite. Our financial viability was strengthened because we looked at the problems from a different lens.
So hi everybody, my name is Dina Pons and I'm a board member at the Cambodian Microfinance Institution AMK, and I'm also the chairwoman of the Social Performance Committee. I would like to wish everybody a very good conference and a great exchange of views. I hope the Cambodian example can nurture your discussions.